Hello one and all, I am Paladin of Games and welcome to the Photon deck profile. Let's go through the cards and then I'll talk about them. It'd be pretty cool to do. 3 Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, 3 Galaxy Knights, 3 Photon Thrasher, 3 Photon Crusher, 1 Honest, 2 Photon Charge Man, 3 Paladin of Photon Dragon, and that's it for the monsters. For the spells we've got 1 Reinforcement of the Army, 1 Dark Hole, 3 Galaxy Expedition, 1 Foolish Burial, 3 Preparation of Rites, 3 Light Dragon Ritual, 1 Book of Moon, 3 Forbidden Lance, and 2 Galaxy Zero. And for traps we've got a 6th Sense and 3 Royal Decrees. So to go through some of the choices, let's roll on by well, to be honest, it's better to explain the extract first before we go into this, because it sort of molds together quite well. We've got 2 Neo Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, 1 Gimmick Puppet Destiny Leo, 1 Dragluon, 2 Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon, 1 Hieratic Sun Dragon Overlord of Heliopolis, 1 Gimmick Puppet of Strings, 1 Coach King Giant Trainer, 1 Divine Dragon Knight Fulgrand, 2 Shinra no Morigami Urusai or High Protector Urusai depending, 1 Gimmick Puppet Giant Grinder, and 2 Star Liege Lord Galaxion. So the reason it's how it is I'll obviously go through it now. The Galaxy Ice Photon Dragons are like your base of the deck. They're needed for almost all the plays, and for that reason that's why they're there. The Galaxy Knights, they're there to either set up for that level 8 play by getting that Galaxy Eyes to the field to set up for an easy 2 level 8, or you could just need it for that potential of being able to, maybe sometimes you haven't got that Galaxy Eyes, but it's still a nice 1800 for the first turn it's out, or 28 from then on. I mean, I've had it in both situations. Obviously, it can happen where Galaxy Knight is obviously just a bit redundant, but for the most part, you're going to have the Galaxy Eyes to make for some real cool plays from that. One in particular, Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon. I mean, it's such a good card and it's so underrated and undermined, but in some great circumstances. I mean, it's even got me a OTK on the 3rd turn. I'll probably put a link to the video that was in, but it wasn't as playing Photons, but regardless, it was still pretty funny to pull off. Moving on, we've got 3 Photon Thrasher. These are in here mainly because it's over 2000, so it works well with Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, as well as the fact that it's obviously going to be good for going into that Star Liege Lord Galaxion with either the Photon Crushers or the Charge Man, or even Paladin of Photon Dragon, I suppose. But that is definitely something to keep in mind. I run 3 Crusher as well. These run nicely alongside it. I mean, they're nice for reinforcement as well. I've tried to keep them all as Warrior Rug rather than a Circle as an option. Moving on, we've got an Honest. It's a light deck, so that's pretty self-explanatory. 2 Charge Man. These are in here. These are quite interesting, actually. They can obviously be 2000 hitters. That's why I replaced the Photon Circles with them, because I felt they had a real interesting flair in that scenario. And finally, we've got 3 Paladin of Photon Dragons, which are going to be helpful for that play for the Galaxy Eyes early on, allowing for Galaxy Knight to be truly advantageous for when you play him. Reinforcement obviously is great. It's going to bring out most of your stuff, including the Paladin of Photon Dragon, which is great. It's really helpful in the deck, really speeds it up, and it's definitely worth playing. Dark Hole, pretty self-explanatory. 3 Galaxy Expeditions, these are great, to be honest. I've been playing 3 because they just work so nicely for either being able to bring out that a Galaxy Eyes. If you already have a Galaxy Eyes, you can bring out a second, get them in the grave, sort of deck thin a little. As well as that, obviously you can go for Knights. There's nothing wrong with that. It's definitely worth doing that. So that's what I would say run 3. I mean, 3 could be a bit overboard with just these, but I think it's a great idea definitely helps with them deck fins. Foolish is in there basically for getting that Galaxy Eye straight to the grave, hoping to set up for Galaxy Knight plays. Free preparation of rights. But yeah, second effect's sort of redundant regardless, so it's a nice search to go into Paladin, which is definitely the reason it's worth playing. Not so much about the ritual effect, but definitely for the first effect. The reason these aren't so needed in the hand is because they have a secondary effect which works in the grave, which is allowing you to banish it alongside a level 4 to bring out the Paladin from your hand, which is a great effect in my opinion. Really helps speed up the deck. And to be able to summon in them, either tributing them off or keeping them for draw power. Then we've got Book of Moon. That's pretty self-explanatory. It's going to be there. You could use it to your advantage with Paladin to get a draw out of it. It's just obviously going to be able to help the deck out in circumstances where it will be advantageous to have a book. Free Forbidden Lance. These are mainly there. It's nice to have that minus 800 as just a supplement to help them get over stuff. But on top of that, having that effect of, stopping spells and traps for them early plays when Royal Decree might be not in your hand is really nice. I was running 3 Galaxy Zeros, but then I went down to 2, mainly because it was a lot better to do that in my opinion, because 3 seemed to be a little cloggy, didn't always happen to work to the best of what I would hope they would. And they're definitely great for them level 8 play, well rank 8 plays I should say, but 2's working great for me at the moment. You can try out 3, there's nothing wrong with that, but 2's good for me. For traps we've got Sixth Sense, pretty self-explanatory, it's broken, why not reuse it. And then the 3 Royal Decrees, I love these because I'm seeing a lot of trap plays now, being a lot of people playing with traps, a lot more than they were. Which just helps just stop a lot of that and give Photons just free reign of the field to do what they want. These are pretty self-explanatory. Most of it's in variety to take out most stuff, and it seems to deal with almost everything, to be honest. There's very few situations where these cards aren't in use. So that's mainly why they're there. I mean, onto cards you could decide to use instead of the deck. Should go use Nice. I don't use him because I can find him a bit slow sometimes, but for the players who like to store more and sort of drag it out a bit more, and they prefer to sort of let the opponent get some stuff out for you to clear out first, I mean, maybe something you might want to consider. Blackluster Soldier, obviously you got your rank 8s for darks, like gimmick puppets, so that's worth thinking about. Galaxy Dragons, these are nice. I did use these at one point as 2000 hitters. Definitely worth considering. Thunder King Ryo, that's another nice monster to think about. It doesn't have that 2000 threshold, which is annoying, but regardless, it's a very nice card. Shining Angels, these work really nice, especially if you're using Chargeman, Photon Circles or Galaxy Wizards. These are really nice to put in the deck, just as a bit of deck thinning, as well as being able to go into some real cool plays from that, especially Galaxy Wizard in that scenario, because you can have the flexibility of going into an 8 or then tributing it off for either an Expedition or a Galaxy Knight, which is a really nice ability to have at your disposal to make for some really nice deck thinning plays. Galaxy Wizards, I was running these, but I found that because they couldn't run with the Star Liege, they was kind of annoying in that respect, and that's why I went over with Star Lieges instead. But you could opt to not do that. Photon Circles, I just think that Chargeman's a better card now, so it's worth playing that over it. Photon Lizards, I don't really see this being played, but I mean, it might be possible to play around with this card. It definitely adds some really nice deck thinning abilities, and being able to add Paladin to your hand is always nice. For an XC, you might want to consider it's Laval Vol, being able to be a active Foolish as well as top decking stuff like Galaxy Knights and Paladins, or even sometimes honest, maybe that'll be considered worth doing. For spells, Mind Control's a nice card to have. Trade-ins, you might want to run some trade-ins, get that draw power going, as well as having that Galaxy Knight in the Graves, or Galaxy Eyes even, in the Graves is always nice to have. And also Photon leads, it's nice to, if you're going to run a deck what's a lot more on the level 4 side, this is a card that would be great to run alongside it, because then you can run quite a lot of stuff like the other stylish card. What is it? Let's have a check up on it, because I'm really not sure. Stylish Paladin Ammo, that's who I was thinking of. He's a great card to have in the deck, as well as having that draw power on alongside it. It's really nice to have. A few trap choices I thought was Call of the Haunted if you wanted to replace Galaxy Zero with a bit more reliable card. Ray of Hope if you wanted to search these back in the deck, because then you'd be able to abuse Paladin a lot more. Sometimes you already have them in the hand, so Paladin becomes useless. But most of the time it won't make a big difference on the deck and how it runs. And finally, Beckoning. I think Beckoning's a great card. Most light decks. The reason I don't play it is because I feel that the deck isn't in need of it, but some players might feel that it's a lot more controlling of the deck and it works more to their tastes. That's fair enough. One last card I did want to mention, which was a card I was using for a little while, but I didn't quite like the how it ran with some of my other stuff I teched in, which was Photon Sanctuary. Now, I found that I didn't really need that special summon from Galaxy Eyes once I added a few of these cards in, but you may decide that it's worth doing for your taste and how you wanted to run the deck, because you might decide to just opt out of playing these 4s altogether, because you could do. I mean, it'd be a lot more challenging to do that, but it's definitely possible. And yeah, that's the deck profile. I hope you've liked it. I know a lot of you guys asked for this deck profile, and that's why I decided I better get on it, because it totally slipped my mind when I first put that video up of it. And so finally we get around to it, and yeah, like if you've liked, favourites always good, and leave a comment below what you would change, what you like about it, what you don't, etc, etc. And other than that, thanks for watching everyone, and goodbye.